Welcome back to the Spider Talk live news show. I believe we're a month into doing these live shows. I think we're a month. I think this is the month anniversary, unless I'm wrong, unless it came before, I don't know. But either way, welcome to the Spider Talk news show. We've got some topics today, not as many as I would have liked, but we've still got topics nonetheless to discuss and go through. Obviously, a main thing to do with MCU Spider-Man 4, so used to saying that, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, which is really interesting. We're going to get into that. We've also got, oh my god, so sorry, we've got the old friggin' thing up. Give me 1 second. I've got the old graphic up here. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hi, Dan the Man. Cayman, how we doing? 24 bricks. Hope we are all well. I've got the old graphic up here. 1 sec. I just realised. Oh, I'm not prepared in the slightest. I'm so bad at this. But either way, yeah, we've got major Spider-Man 4 news to talk about. But just because of how, like... There we go. There's the actual graphic. There's the actual graphic. So, we've got MCU Spider-Man 4 news to talk about as well. But, yes, we've got some good... Why am I so, like, orange? What's going on? Hold on. But yeah, we've got some big Spider-Man 4 news to talk about. We've got MCU Spider-Man 4 news, director news, and we've also got a few bits and bobs with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Did you peep the Invincible episode? Something spectacular happened. I have peeped it. I didn't. Obviously, I haven't. I do watch Invincible, but I'm waiting till the whole series is out first to watch it. But yeah. Hopefully everyone's okay. Hopefully everyone's doing good in the chat. We're just going to wait for a few more people to get in here, and then we will get started. Hopefully everyone is okay. But yeah, we've got a bit to talk about today. We're going to start with the Drew Goddard Spider-Man 4 director news. That apparently, we'll get into that. I'm confused. Is that Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 happening? Well, we're gonna get into that. Is Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 happening? Who knows? We're going to get into that. We're meaning to catch up on your spectacular Spider-Man episodes in the cinematic universe. Keep going. Thank you very much, Dan the Man. Yeah, they're coming thick and fast. Well, they've gone. They've come. I'm not saying that again. They're here already. Do they ever cross over with Samantha's Heroes and Wolverine and the X-Men by any chance? No, they don't. But either way, let's get into this then. So, the Drew Goddard considered for Spider-Man 4. So if you guys don't know, Drew Goddard is obviously a big name for Spider-Man 4. A lot of people really want him to direct the film. He's been involved with Marvel projects before. People really want this guy to direct Spider-Man 4. It turns out, apparently, Drew Goddard has actually been considered for the director for the film. However, his allegiances to the Matrix franchise are obviously holding him back. Thank you, It's Kane, for being a member for 11 months. That is absolutely incredible. I do appreciate that. But yeah, apparently his allegiances to the Matrix franchise, aka Matrix 5, is holding him back from committing to the project. That's the news that we've got this week on Drew Goddard. And to be fair, like, I get it, but Spider-Man 4, come on, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm not saying Spider-Man films are bigger than the Matrix. Well, they are bigger than the Matrix films. But like, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do, right? We can't discredit that. And yeah, fair enough. Drew Goddard just got webbed up by Warner Brothers to make a new Matrix film. Exactly, yeah. So, Drew Goddard was considered for the role to direct the film. However, it is now being said that his allegiances to the Matrix film are now not going to let him be the director. But apparently he was in pole position for the spot, we're being told now, which is slightly annoying because people really wanted him to direct MCU Spider-Man 4. But either way, it is what it is. Do you think Drew Goddard is considered to direct Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland? Can Spider-Man 4 have a street-level movie like teaming up with Daredevil, Punisher, and more street-level heroes? Yeah, well, it can, and he was considered. Hello, says Romantic Avocado. Hello. Great. Bro, I always get your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Bro, the movies are dead. Let them lay. Well, we've got news today that they're not actually dead, and we'll get into that. But next, we need to get into, and this is, I'm fed up with Spider-Man 4 news. 24 bricks. I am as well. I want something different. But anyway, let's get into the Tom Holland was originally meant to be in Madam Web news. Now, this is confirmed now. This is confirmed. Tom Holland was originally meant to be in Madam Web, and this is 100% nailed on now, right? Rod LaFoe, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, so this is confirmed now, and I will try and find the. I'll actually try and find the set image. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Madam Web. This is really, really crazy, actually. So there was concept art. Well, not set. I said set image. There has been concept art essentially that has been released from Madam Web, which basically shows Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the film, so as we know, Madam Web is basically a film that went through so many changes in its production. It went through several rewrites, even before the film was meant to come out. It basically went through production cuts. It went through rewrites. It went through cutting things out for Spider-Man. It went through Tom Holland Spider-Man rewrites. It went through Andrew Garfield Spider-Man rewrites. Here is the concept art of Tom Holland Spider-Man fighting Ezekiel Sims in Madam Web. I'm going to place this up here. That is absolutely crazy, because I think this suggests to me, anyway, it suggests to a lot of us, that yes, Tom Holland Spider-Man was meant to be in this film. And it's confirmed to us now. That I don't know how they would have incorporated it into the story, as we know with the whole time travel thing, the multiverse thing. Who knows? Who knows? But Madam Web is not what it was meant to be. And I know people say this. I know people say, oh, I want to see the director's cut of this. I want to see the Snyder cut. I want to see... Right. I genuinely want to see the director's cut or the untouched, un-Sony-ified version of Madam Web. I really do, because I think it's actually an okay film. Yeah, I reckon it's still, Morbius writers, so I reckon it's still, pretty there, here and there, right? But I want to see this version where Tom Holland shows up. I want to see the version where Andrew Garfield shows up. I want to see those versions. I want to see it. But turns out Tom Holland was meant to be in the film, which is absolutely crazy. Romantic Avocado says, I heard... Make sure to get your thoughts in the chat below. I'm actually going to do a poll on this. Would you have watched... or would have Madam... If I could spell... Madam Web being better with Tom Holland? This is a question. Right? Let's go back to Romantic Avocado. Romantic Avocado says, I heard Kirsten Dunst wants Spider-Man 4 to be a found footage movie that could actually work for the first few minutes as a way to recap what happened in between Spider-Man 3 and No Way Home. Very good idea, that. I didn't actually hear that piece of news. That must have slipped. But that will tie into stuff that we are talking about later. Just skip my comment. I see how it is. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan the Man. Let me go back up and see. If we were to get... Oh, I think this is it. If we get to hypothetical, Spider-Man 4 and 2003 would be... would Toby be like a college professor? Andrew Garfield? I think so, yeah. I think that's a way to do it. Do you think the original version of Madam Web would have gotten better than the version we actually got? Yes, I do. 100%. 100%. I remember seeing Madam Web with my then at the time girlfriend. I remember her saying, I'd rather watch a better movie than whatever the heck that was. Yeah, no, true. Which is better, Morbius or Madam Web? Morbius, probably. At least Morbius is, like, cohesively... Oh, I don't even want to give Morbius a compliment. Did you see Spider-Man and Invincible episode 8? I haven't. Well, I haven't seen the episode, but I've seen the footage. I knew something was going to happen crazy. So I did decide to spoil it for myself. I'm going to watch the whole series when it's out. The season 2. I've seen season 1. But we all knew stuff was going on. Yours good, Lewis. I've only got 15 minutes, so I can't stay long. That's completely fine. But hopefully you enjoy your stay. Hope you didn't actually pay money to see Madam Web. I did pay money. I wanted the theater experience, right? In case this movie actually turned out to be peak, I needed the experience. I did regret it wholeheartedly, but I collect yes on the poll by accident. Says Romantic Avocado. Have you thought of doing a what if video of what if Rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2 is in No Way Home? I have, and it will be coming soon. I'm pretty sure on LewisFiction. I need Tom to be sad and depressed and do most... Jesus, okay. We want Tom to be depressed. But yeah, so this is meant to be happening, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's... I'm going to get rid of that now. So yeah, so Tom Holland's going to be in Madam Web, which is interesting, as we said. I guess the movie was meant to be good, right? I don't know. It was completely different. Imagine Tom Holland teaming up with the Spider-Women. And, well, I don't know, the Spider-Women weren't barely in it, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, let's move on to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 news. So this is the big news for this week. So, for those of you, obviously, who don't know, basically what has happened, a bunch has happened this week for Spider-Man 4. One of the biggest pieces of news was Dylan Baker. Now, Dylan Baker, for those of you who don't know, was the guy who played Dr. Curtis Connors in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. And essentially, he has come out and talked a bunch about Spider-Man. He's talked about Risa Fons, who played the Lizard in TASM 1, and said, basically, I would love for that to be me. I would have loved to have played that role. I would have loved to have played the Lizard in Spider-Man 4. And he even said that he thought that was the direction that they were going in Spider-Man 4, which I think is very, very interesting that he mentioned the direction that Sam was going to go with the film. But he also said as well that if Raimi 4 was to happen, he would come back. He would be down to come back. He would be down to complete that character's journey, do the Lizard potentially, or do some kind of variation of his character getting a bit more involved. I really love this, right? I really love this. I'm worried about Spider-Man 4. Is it going to be bad or good? I don't know what Spider-Man 4 we're talking about. If we're talking about MCU Spider-Man 4, I reckon it'll be good. But Spider-Man 4, Raimi's, is a bit of a different question. Hashtag Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire needs to happen. So, I want to ask you guys then. Okay, so this is the question. If Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 happens, will it be good? That's the question, right? So obviously Dylan Baker, the whole news with Dylan Baker. We'll talk more about what Sam Raimi's been talking about this week as well. Sam Raimi seems to talk about Spider-Man 4 a hell of a lot for someone who says he hasn't been approached by Sony to make it. But we'll talk about what Sam Raimi had to say in a minute. But Dylan Baker said basically he wants to do it. And I saw a tweet as well that kind of went in conjunction with this. And I thought this was really interesting. So someone put together basically a bunch of things that the cast and crew for Spider-Man, the original trilogy, had said about Spider-Man 4. And it turns out that pretty much every single person, so Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Sam Raimi, Dylan Baker now, Thomas Hayden Church, the big names have said that they want to do this film, or said that if they were approached to do it, they'd do it. Which I think is crazy. If everyone wants to do it, and the fans want it, I mean, is it getting closer? I think so. I think it's getting closer. I think Sony would be... we're in that period now, right? We're in that lull period. And I remember this. I remember this exactly. We were in this period before No Way Home. So everyone, I remember a few years before No Way Home happened, everyone said, there is no way we'll get Tom, Andrew, and Toby on the same screen together. It's not happening. Everyone said, nope, not happening. No way it's going to happen. It's a fantasy. We're not going to get that. That is just fantasy land. There's no way they get Toby back. There's no way they get Andrew back after TASM 2. And Tom is not going to cross over with them. People said this. And I remember, you can go back on YouTube and look at the videos. People said this. All right? I remember thinking, you know what? It would be stupid of Sony not to do it. Especially with Spider-Verse happening, like the animated film, and then obviously the Spider-Verse comics becoming popular. It would be stupid of Sony not to do it, right? It would be stupid. I remember saying this in a video as well. I said this in a video. I said it would be stupid for Sony not to do it. And then guess what happened? No Way Home happened because Sony weren't stupid enough to not go through with it, right? I have the same feeling about this. I have the same intuition about this. I feel like somewhere in my gut is telling me that Sony would be stupid not to make Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. Whether it's an animated movie, whether it's a Disney Plus series, whether it's in collaboration with Marvel Studios, whether it's a standalone movie, whether it's set in the future, proper Raimi style, who knows? I don't know. I think in one way or another, they would be stupid not to do it. I think it would make money. I don't think it would make as much money as No Way Home, but it would make money. I think Toby wants to come back. Kirsten would do it. You know, Sam Raimi would definitely do it. He spoke, which we'll talk about in a moment. He spoke a lot about it. I just think it's stupid. But anyway, I'm going to catch up on some of you guys' comments here. Purple for Enderboy says Monkey Vision. I think it's BS that they keep making excuses to make Spider-Man's life miserable. Yeah, I think in the comics I definitely agree. Hi, Cham the Artist, how you doing? When Spider-Man 4 does happen, how would Dylan Baker Lizard story be different than TASM Lizard? I'm guessing he'd be more of an anti-hero. I don't know. That's a good question. Of course it will be good. Don't you remember how the first two movies were big hits in 2002 and 2004? Well, I'll get onto this. I personally believe it won't be good. No, I do believe it'll be good. I think it'll be great. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 will be awesome if it comes out. but I don't think it's going to be as good as everyone's hoping for. I think the expectations are going to be too high for it, and I think it's going to make people not like the film as much as maybe we probably should. I can't wait to watch the big Spider-Man Cinematic Universe film that is a compilation. I watched Spider-Man Brothers, Tombstone, Spider-Man 2, and Osborn. Haven't seen the others yet, so yeah. Well, hopefully you enjoyed 24 Bricks. It comes out, well, it's out now, I think. Sam Raimi just makes great movies as long as the studio doesn't interfere, says Romantic Avocado. Hi, Lewis. How are we doing? Well, Harry comes to Tom's Spider-Man would Black Cat being Tom's lover? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. The Sam Raimi trilogy being re-released in theaters for Sony's 100th anniversary. That should be Sony's wake-up call to allow them to... Well, this is the thing as well. They are willing to re-release the Spider-Man films in the theaters, which I think shows people's dedication to the franchise, and I think shows people that people would watch it. Like, if Sam Raimi's movies do really well box office wise for the days that they're released, I think it just shows to Sony that there's still interest in the character. As long as Avi Arad is an executive producer, oh god, no, just get Avi away from this film. Spider-Man 3 was, it wasn't. Sam Raimi did, probably. Well, I mean, Spider-Man 3, you know, wasn't the best, but studio interference, right? We're not going to say that the Madam Web poll was 52-47. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I tried to ignore that. How are you, Lewis? I'm good, thank you. How about you? If they did make Raimi Spider-Man 4, I would be broke because I would watch it 5 times and buy all the merchandise. Yeah, same. Do you think that Miles should have stayed in his own universe where he's the only Spider-Man? I've heard a lot of people complain, but do you agree or disagree? I agree and disagree. I think there's certain times where Miles probably should be on his own, but there's also times where I think Peter coming before does work. What villain would you like for Spider-Man 4? Probably Scorpion. LewisFilms, do you think Lizard and Sandman should have bonded in No Way Home over the fact that they have families and transform into monsters? Probably, but the story wasn't big enough for that. Jay says, you must be joking. Why people would hate? There's many fans who show love to Maguire and Raimi films. Yeah, but the issue is, Jay, I don't think you realise, we are in a fandom, the Spider-Man fandom, which is renowned for having way too high of expectations. And then when the expectations aren't paid off, they hate the thing. Like, No Way Home, everyone had high expectations for No Way Home. We watch it, and then people nowadays just crap all over it. People say it's like the worst Spider-Man film ever. People don't like it. People say that Toby was ruined in that film. People say that he's washed. People don't like his character. People are like, the suit sucks. It's like, guys, just be happy the fact that we got Toby and Andrew back. Like, come on, man. Like, I get wanting a film to be good, but like, sometimes we just gotta switch our brains off, right? But the thing is, I think the same thing will happen with Spider-Man 4. Like, I think the expectations will be so high because, one, it's Sam Raimi coming back to do it. Number 2, it's the original cast coming back to do it. Number 3, Sam Raimi wants to make it the successor to Spider-Man 2 more than anything. There's going to be so much pressure on the film. And plus, we're out of that age now. Like, remember, those films came out in an era where superhero movies were that kind of tonality. They're not like that anymore. You know, I'm not saying that that would factor into it being bad, but public perception would definitely take a part in that. And I think the expectations will be way too high, and when it doesn't deliver up to what people want it to be, I reckon people are just going to hate on it. So, I don't know, yeah. If everyone shows up for the re-release of the Raimi trilogy, 2001 and 2, we will sure get Spidey 4 and 2003. This is what I mean, like, if people show up, people are going to want, Sony are going to realize. Hi, Cosmic Bazooka, how are we doing? Studios will interfere, it's in their nature, says Barry. Yeah, that is very true. Justin Lin would be perfect director for Spider-Man 4. You can just get a great thrilling action sequences that would be breathtaking. I do agree, Justin Lin would be a very good director, from what I've seen. This is different. You don't see people trashing Spider-Man 2. Many think it's one of the greatest. No, yeah, but Spider-Man 2 came out at a time where there wasn't really that many expectations for superhero films. You got to remember this. This was before The Dark Knight. This was before the MCU. This was before the modern Spider-Man films. This was before Spider-Verse. This was before most of the X-Men films. This was before, you know, the Batman. This was before the DCU. This was before all the superhero films that have been praised over the years. Super films didn't nearly have as many expectations as they do now. So Spider-Man 4 would have so many more expectations on it. Spider-Man 2 didn't. All Spider-Man 2 had to do was live up to the first one, which was difficult, but it's nowhere near as difficult as living up to 3 films before it and the rest of superhero culture nowadays. It's a completely different landscape, it's a completely different Hollywood, and it's a completely different fandom. I don't know, you know what I mean? Hi, how are we doing? When you announced that you were streaming on Thursday, I thought you were trolling since it was April Fool's. Oh, wow. Well, I'm not trolling. I keep forgetting. I always forget about April Fools. Outside the multiversal elements, I haven't heard those complaints for No Way Home until today. Sounds like a bunch of haters, to be honest. Yeah, there are that when it came out, because Toby's suit didn't look 100% accurate to what it did in the Raimi trilogy. It looked a little bit off, but I think most people looked past that and thought, well, yeah, fair enough, right? You know, you got to recreate it. Some people were like, nah, it sucks. Why are you doing that? Like, you know what I mean? Do you think Spider-Man 4 has even greater chances if Sam Raimi were to direct Secret Wars? Yeah, probably. I think Sam Raimi getting back into the superhero landscape definitely influences that. Do you know that Sam Raimi doesn't want Peter Parker to have the black suit yet and Spider-Man 3? I didn't know that. Does he? How do the Rhino suit would have looked in No Way Home if Rhino appeared? I don't know. Probably the same as it was. Are they going to be in theaters for a week? I'm not too sure. They're only in theaters in the US, so I'm not too sure about that. Ultimate Spider-Man 2024 is the only Spider-Man worth talking about at the moment. I don't see the point of a Spider-Man 4. That's fair enough. I have an idea for Venom. For your Ultimate Spider-Man universe. I think Peter works at the Bugle. That could be quite cool. Dude, Raimi will still keep what he did all those years ago, practical effects to a story. I do not doubt that in my mind. But I think the expectations are going to be so high. The expectations are going to be so high. Hi, I'm back. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. April Fools is so stupid, says 24 bricks. I agree. It is. It's quite funny, though. I've got to leave. Yeah. I'm assuming you're a Liverpool fan, by the way, Connor. I know you've gone now, but if you're watching the football. I read Spectacular Spider-Man issue 1. I liked it. Hype for the other issues. Me too. Seriously, Tom Holland was supposed to be in Madam Web. I can't believe it. Yeah. Multiverse of Madness was super mid in my mid Lamau. I'd rather get a great MCU Spider-Man 4 than potentially mid Raimi 4. I got to agree. If there's one film that we need... In fact, actually, I'm going to do this as a poll. For those of you who are in the chat right now, poll right now. Would you rather Raimi 4 or Holland 4? Which one is more important? Raimi 4, Holland 4. And while that poll goes on, I'm going to talk about what Sam Raimi has said. So Sam Raimi, moving on to the next topic, Sam Raimi has said basically that Sony hasn't contacted him about doing his fourth film. Sony hasn't been in touch with him, but he has said essentially he would be open. If they come to him and ask him, do you want to come back and make this? He said he's going to do it, right? He said he's there in a heartbeat. You know, essentially he's going to be doing it, right? Which I really like. I think that gives us hope. It means it's getting closer. You know, he's putting out these hints. That he's going to be making this film, which is good. Sorry, I'm trying to get me focus. There we go. Raimi 4 is winning? Really? No, wait, hold on a minute. I'm really confused. I thought this was going to be a whitewash of Holland 4. Really? Oh, I'm really confused. I'm baffed. What? Wait, really? Raimi 4's 60%. Right, okay, guys. I respect you. I respect y'all's opinion. I respect your opinion. I really do. Like, you guys, fair enough, right? But, guys, Holland 4 or Raimi 4? It was more of a satire. Well, it wasn't satire, but it was more of like a, okay, surely Holland 4's got to win this sort of thing, poll. Really? So if you could only pick one, the other one gets cancelled. It's Raimi 4. I'm not saying I wouldn't love a Spider-Man 4, but Romantic Avocado, I think you have to think about who you're polling. We're a more older fan base. Toby has suspect. That's very true. You are very right there, Romantic Avocado. You are very right there. I guess right. It's not who you prefer, right? Because, in all honesty, I agree with you guys. I agree. Sam Raimi Spider-Man is my favorite, right? Always will be. I've grown up with Sam Raimi Spider-Man. He's my favorite, right? I'm not disputing that, right? I know we're all Sam Raimi fans here, right? But surely we wouldn't take Raimi 4 over Holland 4 in the modern day. I get maybe in 2011, you know, would you rather have another Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland in the future, or would you take Raimi 4? I get it then, right? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. There's more potential in Holland 4, right? I guess. Holland 4 has more potential. Yeah, you put Holland 4 against Raimi 4, you do the math. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess. Okay, no, I understand it, but no, it just surprised me. It caught me off guard, if anything. Like, I was expecting more of it to be a 50-50, more towards Holland, just because he's the more recent Spider-Man, and there is a story there to tell. Like, there is a big story. Like, if you put Raimi 4 and Tom Holland 4 in front of me and asked me, okay, which one's going to be the better story? I'm gonna say Tom Holland 4. It has to be. The story, it's like set up in the perfect way to be a great story. It's set up in the perfect way. Raimi 4 Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 had a pretty decent conclusion. Like, you can leave it there. No Way Home, there's a story to tell about a lonely Peter Parker. It's great. I mean, then again, you could do Mayday Parker for Spider-Man 4, but is it really? You know, you got to tread the line of what's Peter Parker and what's not. Tobey is the superior Spider-Man. You have to see that, Lewis. Well, I already say this. Like, Raimi's my favorite, but I wouldn't take a Raimi 4 over Holland 4. Lewis, I never gave a crap about Tom since 2016. Tobey's my guy, my Spider-Man. I want to go back to that universe, says Jay. Also, Spider-Man showed up in Invincibles. Yeah, so I guess a win. Yeah, I guess so. I grew up with Andrew and kind of Tobey, but right now Holland 4 seems like it's going to be Madam Web and Raimi 4. Oh, okay. Right, that's a good way of looking at it. Like, maybe people who don't vote for Holland 4 maybe see it as potentially an absolute disaster, which is fair enough. But I have hope. I've got hope, right? Hopefully. Okay, maybe this brings us on to another poll. Okay, this brings me on to another poll, actually. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think MCU Spider-Man, I can't spell, will be good or not? This brings us on to a different question. Will it be good or not? Because I think we're diving into different territory here. Set up in the perfect way, says Blake. That's BS, Lewis. Tobey had 3 perfect films. Yeah, he had a great conclusion. He had a great conclusion. Like, what? You know, he had a great conclusion. Like, end it there. You know what I mean? Holland has story potential to there's still fire to the flame there, right? Raimi's story is closed. Holland is open for more. Exactly. That's my kind of mentality on this. Can you look back at my comments? Says 24 bucks. Oh, did I miss a comment? I'm so sorry. Did I miss a comment? I grew up with Andrew. Oh, I think I read it. Was that the one? I think I read it. Wasn't really Spider-Man, just more of a fun parody. But yeah, Josh keeping foot. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yes, Tobey wins, baby. Says Jay. If I'm being completely honest, I'm down to see both, but if only one, it's got to be Iron Boy Jr. This is coming from someone who not only grew up with Tobey, but I've always wanted an adult Peter, says Dan. That's fair enough. That's my problem. I don't really have any hope for Spider-Man anymore. Tobey should do another trilogy while training Mayday and continue with her. Just don't let Sony ruin everything as usual, says Super Warrior. That's a good point. Always preferred an adult Peter in quotation marks, says Dan. Fair, at the moment, I'd rather take an adult Peter story. You should put a maybe option. I should have put a maybe option, that's true. As long as it's street level and not big crazy like what Sony wants. You're wrong, Lewis. There's still more to tell with Tobey. I mean, look at the movie games. He fought Shocker Mysterio. Yeah, but... Yeah, you can always put him against other villains, but is there more places for his character to go? He's pretty much... You know, you got to think about the depth. You got to think about the character's depth. You got to think about the character as a whole. You can't just think about villains that he hasn't thought. Like, we've got to think about... Okay, would this character... You know, does his story matter in Spider-Man 4? What would his story be? I think there is a story there. I think you can tell. I think the way I would go for it is Mayday Parker. I think Peter and MJ have a kid, and she grows up to be Spider-Girl, and I think you adapt Renew Your Vows, or you adapt Spider-Girl comics. I think you do that. I think that's the story you tell with Raimi's Peter. It's going to be Dub, Tom, and Feige are going to make it street level, so yeah, I'm not worried, says Cosmic Bazooka. People don't realize that Raimi Spider-Man 4 is even more dangerous than MCU Spider-Man 4 because Sony will only make it to make money, and if it does good, there's nothing stopping them from adding it to the SSU. That's a very good point as well, you know. So we got to remember, we got to think about Sony in this. Sony are obviously money hungry. Sony make decisions based off money. If they make Raimi 4, they're going to try and make as much money as possible. Who knows? They might even try and throw Andrew Garfield in it. You know, you don't know this. They could try and make it a multiverse movie. So, this is the thing. Hi, Lewis. Hi, Super Warrior. Bro, Tom Spider-Man better be an adult. If an MCU version of Norman Green Goblin appeared, what do you think of Jim Carrey and Matthew McConaughey playing him? Perfect castings, I'd say. Do you think Spider-Gwen being 616 Peter is a terrible idea? To me, it could be a great story. I don't think Spider-Gwen should be with him. I think that defeats the idea of Spider-Gwen losing Peter. Like, I'm thinking about this from a purely Spider-Gwen angle. I've read a lot of Spider-Gwen comics recently, as you can probably tell with the Spider-Gwen audio drama coming soon. I've had to read a lot of Spider-Gwen comics. But Spider-Gwen losing Peter, the whole story is that Spider-Gwen loses Peter in the same way that Peter loses Uncle Ben. At least that's the mirror of that story, right? It's like Peter going to an alternate universe and then being with Uncle Ben. Not like that. Oh my god, no, not like that, right? No, for God's sake. It's like Peter going to an alternate universe and having Uncle Ben around, right? It completely negates the idea of losing Uncle Ben. So no, I don't agree with the idea of Peter being with Spider-Gwen from 616. 616 about to be arrested if he's with Spider-Gwen. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, true. 616 Peter about to catch a case, man. He's about to catch a case. If we give Toby Mayday, he can learn how to be a father. So yeah, so there is a story there for Spider-Man 4. He's freaking 30. Yeah. I think Spider-Gwen, I want to say she's like 21 now. I don't know. Wasn't she like 19 when they first did the comics? I don't know. She might be not. I'm not too sure. I think she must be early 20s by now, right? Because even though they age up slower, I think she's still like, you know. I'm not too sure how old she is at the moment in the current day comics. I know in the original one she's pretty young. Toby should lead Secret Rules with Sam Raimi after establishing Toby Spider-Man 4. MCU Spider-Man 4 at least has Marvel Studios stopping it from crossing over with Madam Web. That is very true. We can guarantee that MCU Spider-Man 4, even if it's a part of the Marvel multiverse, we know it's not going to cross over with Madam Web. Marvel would never let that happen. In my opinion, I don't think anyone could try and replicate what Willem Dafoe did. The man is a Green... Yeah, no, I agree. Willem Dafoe is the perfect Green Goblin. With Sam Raimi directing Video House, yeah, I mean, Sam Raimi's got to direct. If Sony brought back John Watts to direct, then that means Sony won, but if Justin Lin instead, Sony's loss. He says, I read comics, but it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no, comics don't make any sense. Like, the whole timeline of comics is screwed. Like, it's screwed so badly. It makes no sense whatsoever. It really, really does not. The Romantic Avocado says, I would take a movie about Peter B. Parker instead of Toby or a Tom Forth. Wow, okay. 24 Bricks says, you did Holland versus Raimi 4, but now do a Spider-Verse 3 versus Gold. Oh my god, okay, that's a big poll. In fact, we're going to do it. In fact, actually, I'm going to take that idea, but kind of run with it, just for a bit of fun. Which would you rather? Right. Raimi 4. Holland 4. Garfield 3. There you go. Let's throw that in there for a bit of fun. If you were to make and finish Spectacular Spider-Man, who would you choose to end up with Peter? Mary Jane Watson. 100%. Well, it has to be, doesn't it? Although I would like to see what it would have been like if Gwen had stayed with him. I think that would be interesting. But I don't think that's the direction they would have gone in. What do you think an MCU Miles would be like? I don't know. We might have to find... I think we're going to find out in MCU Spider-Man 4 by the sounds of things. Also, Lewis, there was a concept art for Madam Web by MCU. Yeah, we covered that early in the stream. We covered that topic. Do you think Sony can make money like making Raimi Spider-Man 4003 work with? I don't know. I think obviously Sony has got to weigh up their options here. If it happened, it would really annoy me, says Cosmic Bazooka. Laura Ziskin was the reason why Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, and 2001 was successful. She was a big part of the reason. You got to credit that. Yay, this is fun, says Blake. Oh no, says Jay. Not gonna lie, we need a Garfield 3 more than a Raimi 4, but not as much as MCU 4. Yeah, the way I would rank them is I think in terms of what we need Holland 4. Then we need Garfield, and then we need Raimi 4 is the least important out of the three of them. Raimi is the least important, and the reason why Raimi 4 is the least important is because Raimi's Spider-Man already had a conclusion. I'm not saying he shouldn't come back, because that would be cool as hell, but Raimi's Spider-Man has already had a conclusion. He's already had a conclusion. Andrew Garfield has not, but Tom Holland is the current Spider-Man. I think we should stick with him. Andrew needs an Amazing Spider-Man 3. So Andrew Garfield's winning at the moment, which I think fair enough. I think a lot of people that wanted Raimi would rather have Garfield, and that shows because Holland is about the same. Hey Lewis, what do you think of Jim Carrey and Matthew McConaughey as an MCU Green Goblin? I think it'd be absolutely awesome. This is why the MCU is ruined for me personally. It ruined the Hulk and Thor and made Spider-Man not the man I grew up with. Well, the thing is, he's never going to be, you know? He's going to be different. The Amazing Spider-Man 3, well, it's almost been a decade since TASM 2, says Randy. Yeah, you're right. What we need, Lewis, I need Raimi 4, says Jay. I'd much rather see Andrew than Tom. Don't ruin this for me, Lewis. I'm just being honest. Raimi 4 is the least important, Lewis 24. No, but it is, though. Raimi 4 is the least important. It is. In terms of what we need as conclusive storytelling, it is the least important. It really is. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that I don't want it. Of course, I want Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 more than the next guy. You know what I mean? But I think... Spider-Man 2... I remind you guys... Spider-Man 2 is my favorite movie of all time over any other movie. Alright? I'm just putting that out there. Can Insomniac add the spectacular Spider-Man suit in other DLCs? I hope so. I'd rather have a good proper TASM. Yes, I would as well. TASM 3 would have great web swinging scenes. Yes, it would. Am I the only one that wants Raimi 4? No. Everyone wants Raimi 4. TASM 2 is overhated. No, it's not. TASM 2 gets the hate that's deserved. But no. Okay, right. Let me phrase this. I think Monkey Vision, if he's still in the chat, so Ray, my good friend, he makes a very good point about TASM 2. He makes a good point about fan bases in general. But basically, the way he says is that when films come out, they are usually, if they're stinky, they're usually hated, right? But then about 10 years down the line, the people that grew up with that film, the people that grew up with that series, usually tend to go on to loving it or saying it's underrated. And I think we're entering the phase now where TASM 2 is becoming loved by more and more people, because the people who grew up with it are starting to like sort of get on social media and say, oh, this film was actually really good. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm exactly the same with the Sam Raimi trilogy. I love Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 probably more than most people would. You know, like, I overrate them really badly. I understand that I do, but that's because I grew up with them and I love them. The same with TASM 1, I guess, in some extent. TASM 2 kind of cusped my childhood ever so slightly to the point where I came out of that theater thinking it probably was not great. And I understand the problems it has, but I'm not biased towards it as much as other people, because I feel like I grew up with different stuff. I felt like I saw TASM 2 through a less of a rose-tinted glasses lens, less of a childhood lens. I saw TASM 2 more through an adult lens because I was kind of that age. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think. When everyone says it's overhated, I'm like, no. It's perfectly rated. In my opinion, I think it's perfectly rated. It's not a good film. TASM 2 is not a good movie. It's just not. It's not a good film. But the thing is, I say that about Spider-Man 3. You know, I claim Spider-Man 3 is pretty good. Most people would say it's not. You know, most like film critics, and you know, general people who didn't grow up with it. Same maybe about TASM 1 as well. So, but that's what it is. But yeah. So, no, Spider-Man 3. No, Spider-Man 3 is overhated. Well, that's why, you know, but the thing is, I kind of agree, because I'm in that category where I grew up with Spider-Man 3, so I see it through rose-tinted glasses. Right, so I understand it has problems, but I love that movie, and I can't, you know, The reason Amazing Spider-Man 3 won't happen is because of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 reviews. Yeah, but the love is there for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. What do you think if they made a Spider-Man Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover? That would be pretty funny. Spider-Man 2, in your opinion, better than Across the Spider-Verse? Yes, it is. But I understand that that's because... I know Spider-Man 2 is not the greatest film of all time. But in my opinion, it is purely because that it's a lot to do with what I grew up with, but it's also to do... Like, it's a good movie, obviously. But if someone says Across the Spider-Verse is better than Spider-Man 2, I'm not going to tell them they're wrong, because you could be very much right. So, Spider-Man 3 is way better than that, says Jay. It's not that jerk. Stop that excuse. Well, hey, man, listen. Everyone's got their opinions. I'm just saying that Spider-Man 3, to my understanding, was in 2007's top 50 worst movies of the year. If I remember rightly. Spider-Man 3 was in the top 50 worst movies of the year. If I remember rightly. So, I mean, all we got to do is turn to that, right? 616 Peter should die. He's like a man-child. Yeah, I mean, I don't get me started on that, bro. For Raimi 4, fans would want for the word is nostalgia, says Randy. Which Spider-Man would you choose to be revived? 90s animated. Oh, that's a good question. Probably MTV. I'd say. TASM 1 is overhated. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not that bad. It's just the story. Well, the thing is, story is character. And when the story's bad, that means the characters are bad. So, case closed, I guess. I don't know. There's so many things wrong with it. I would get into it. I mean, there is things I do like about it. Like, Peter and Gwen are great in it. Gwen is a great character. Peter is largely a good character, if not for the stuff with his father. But the villains are so bad. The villains are rushed, you know, and all that jazz. We don't need to get into that. Lewis, would a Spider-Man film with Andrew and Emma as Peter and Gwen in love with Tobey's villains and stories with Tom's music, that would be the best Spider-Man movie? Yeah, man, I mean, just combine all the elements. Lewis, knee reveal. Foot reveal. Wait, hold on. Oh, should I do a foot reveal, or should I leave it for OnlyFans? I'm joking, by the way. Oh god, have you seen? I'm not even going to get into that debate. That's a whole different sphere than what I'm in. I'm not getting into that. Very political at the moment. Very, very big political discussions on that at the moment. I'd say political. It's not even political. It's just controversial, I guess. In response to the backlash against No Way Home, I feel like people can't make up their damn minds. Yeah, I know. Hey Jay, start acting like a normal hero. Oh, okay, well, there's a bit of thing going on in the chat. The OnlyFans joke will single-handedly get you demonetized. Yeah, I might have to just demonetize the stream. I might have to just take it down now. I might just have to take it down now. Spider-Man 3 is not that bad. Spider-Man 3 loved so much, especially with the sad ending. There's nothing wrong with that joke. I didn't swear. I didn't break the guidelines. Do you think the Spider-Man comic should end? Because most manga fans complain about how comic books don't end, but what they don't understand is that Spider-Man is a billion-dollar franchise. Do you agree? I don't think the comic should end. I think they should be reinvented, is the word I'd use. If the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is bad, then Spider-Man No Way Home is bad because Spider-Man No Way Home's story doesn't make sense. Yeah, but there's a difference. There's a difference between a story not making sense and a story not being good thematically. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home's story has a lot of plot holes in it, right? Spider-Man No Way Home's story has a lot of plot holes in it. But the Amazing Spider-Man 2 story has a lot of thematical problems with it. Like, Spider-Man No Way Home's story is revolving around Peter Parker and his lesson of responsibility due to the death of Aunt May. And that is executed pretty much perfectly. I don't see any problem with it. That's the main story of the film. The idea of... It doesn't... Not to say that it doesn't have plot holes, because it does have plot holes. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 has a whole range of problems with its story. Like, Peter finding out he's the chosen one, which goes against everything that Spider-Man is for. The whole thing with Peter's parents, it affects the pacing. The pacing of the movie is awful. The villains, they're rushed. They don't really tie into Peter and Gwen's story. They don't parallel anything. There's nothing going on that ties that ties Electro into the main story, other than the fact that that first scene where he saves him. There's not much care to try and do much more than that, and it's just a bunch of problems that just stack up that make the film not unwatchable. It's just one of the lesser Spider-Man films. I was gonna ask for an elbow reveal, but never mind. Elbow reveal. Although Tobey's Spider-Man films are still my favorite, rewatching the TASM films kind of made me relate to Andrew's version of Peter. I 100% agree. Oh my god, this is how I felt when I was growing up. I was like, oh my god, Andrew's films are like so much more relatable. I see myself more in Andrew than I do in Tobey, but I think most people did, like that teenage angst phase, right? I think people kind of you know, people kind of saw that and was like, yeah, there's me. Ultimate Spider-Man will save comics. Yeah, I gotta say. Do you like Transformers, Lewis? Says Cosmic Bazooka. I do. I haven't seen the recent films, but I do like Transformers. I think No Way Home was meant to be a big love letter to Spider-Man. Yeah, and that's also the thing. You gotta remember, No Way Home was a love letter to the Spider-Man franchise as a whole. It wasn't meant to be. You know, they tried to also forcefully set up. They also tried to forcefully set up the Sinister Six and so many spin-offs in TASM 2. You know, it just kind of took away from the film. And the thing is, I will admit as well, coming off the back of TASM 1. I think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had the potential to be the best Spider-Man film ever made. It really did. It had the ingredients. You know, a very good Peter and Gwen setup. I think Peter and Gwen in Spider-Man in TASM 1 are the best. You know, even in TASM 2 are the best Spider-Man couple we've had live action. And it had the ingredients. It had, you know, the whole thing with it had Oscorp set up as something that could help the villain along, which it did end up, but obviously not in the right way. Yeah, it had so many ideas that it could take forward and make work, but it didn't. Here's my pitch for Spider-Man 4. 2099 and a mix of Batman Beyond main character. Is Mayday Parker in college or high school? Yeah, I guess so. That could be pretty cool. Does every PS5 player that has a PS5 digital lose access to digital games? I have no idea. 24 Brick says, would you rather binge Madam Web for 10 hours or never watch Spider-Man Tobey films for 5 years? I would never watch Spider-Man Tobey films for 5 years because I'm not doing that with Madam Web. And also, imagine when you watch them for the first time after 5 years, it'd be so good. Oh my god. I still need to do my Raimi watch-along this year. I haven't done it yet. I say watch-along? I've never done a watch-along. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 could make up for TASM 2. I 100% agree, by the way. That's one thing I do agree on. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 could 100% make up for TASM 2 because the love is there. The story is definitely there. Like, you know, like we were saying earlier, Andrew's story is the one that needs finishing out of the two. And, yeah, it's kind of impressive that Marvel turned one of the best Spider-Man comics into one of the best Spider-Man movies. One of the worst, sorry. Yeah, they did. It is very impressive. The Amazing Spider-Man is not the best, but it is overhated. The Amazing Spider-Man, I think, has its flaws, but overall, I think it's a pretty sound movie. And plus, I have a lot of love for that movie. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Maguire is more relatable because look, in Spider-Man 2, struggling with a job, being fit. No, it's not that. It's not that for me that makes him less relatable. I just see myself more in Andrew Garfield. Like, I think it's Andrew Garfield's performance more than anything. I think it's Andrew Garfield as an actor rather than Tobey Maguire as an actor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Peter in the Raimi trilogy is relatable. Like, he is definitely relatable. But Andrew Garfield, it's that teenage angst. It's that ultimate Spider-Man teenage angst about him, which is very like, yeah, I could like just see myself. Like, he's confidently lonely, and I think a lot of us see ourselves as kind of this, like, like, I have my own thing. I have my skateboarding. Like, I have my own thing that I do in my spare time that no one knows that I do. And yeah, like, there's this really pretty girl that I really like and I want to ask out, but I can't because I'm just a loner and I'm really nervous. But like, maybe if we get to know each other, maybe things will turn out okay. Like, it's that kind of vibe, like that kind of high school angst vibe that Andrew Garfield gives off. And it's, I don't know, it's like, I relate more to that. Like, the whole, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people do. And I think that's why he's so relatable, so likable as a character. Andrew Garfield brings it to that character, by the way. If it wasn't Andrew Garfield playing him, like if it was Josh Hudson or Dylan O'Brien or whoever was meant to play him, I don't think it would be nearly as good, by the way. Andrew Garfield is just a specimen out of this world in as an actor. Does Spider-Man have to miss every date? Well, according to writers, he does. Cosmic Bazooka says, do you think if Sony still had the rights to Ghost Rider, do you think we got Spider-Man Ghost Rider film? Yes, I do, actually. Lewis, my phone's going to die, and I'm out. Oh, okay. Well, 24 bricks. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. All the Raimi films are coming to theaters again this month, but it will only be in USA. Yeah, I know, unfortunately. Gotta go. Can you wrap up with the Watcher news real quick? Okay, so the Watcher news is the Watcher is going to be in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And essentially, apparently, according to Can We Get Toast, a reliable leaker in the community is going to be in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And this means potentially that we are going to be getting some what-if crossovers, or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is going to be sort of treated as a what-if episode, but then it's going to lead into its own show. I think that's the two theories that I have. So the Watcher will kind of narrate the show as it goes along, to kind of treat it as like a what-if kind of style episode, but it'll be like a whole series. That's my theories about how that's going to play out. Who knows, though? There you go. That's the Watcher news. I've covered the Watcher news now as well. I'm working on a crossover fanfiction between Dormammu. Wait, is that right? Did I read that right? Dormammu and Spider-Man. If I could have creative consultation from you. I'm pretty sure that does not say Dormammu. I've just had the biggest dyslexic moment in my life. Well, yeah. I mean, fire away. Any questions? Just ask me, and I'll be happy to answer. Dude, Toby felt like the shy nerd Peter I knew from the Lee and Ditko books in the 60s. You feel like this kid can learn responsibility and die a hero. I agree. Andrew felt more like Ultimate Spider-Man, and obviously Ultimate Spider-Man, I prefer the Ultimate books to the Lee and Ditko books, which sounds like a sin to say, but it's true. I do. Who would win in a fight? Amazing Spider-Man Earth 616, New Ultimate Spider-Man Earth 6160. Probably 616. If they made Ultimate Spider-Man instead of Amazing Spider-Man movie, Ultimate Spider-Man would have won. But I'm really surprised, by the way, that there hasn't been a movie called The Ultimate Spider-Man yet. Like, that's such a bait name. Like, I'm so surprised that's not been a thing. If they made Ultimate Spider-Man instead of Amazing Spider-Man... Oh, I've just read that one. Completely off topic, but who's your favourite Spider-Man voice actor between Yuri Lowenthal and Josh Keaton? In fact, that's a very good question. I'm going to make it into a poll. Let's have a look. Best Spidey voice actor, because it is between them two, right? Well, maybe Christopher Daniel Barnes as well, but like the two iconic ones are Yuri Lowe and Josh K. There we go. That's the poll. Lewis, sorry to keep asking, but can you send your Discord server in the channel because I really can't find it. Yeah, sure. Let me just grab it real quick. I'll send a link in the chat. The original Ultimate Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man in my opinion. I agree. I would talk to you about on your Discord. Oh, on my Discord. Oh right, okay, yeah. I mean, just add me and just DM me or something. I'll be sure to. I'll reply to you. I am very busy a lot of the time though. So if I'm not active, then I do apologize. But yeah, just shoot me a DM, man. I'll respond. Yeah. What if Scarlet Witch died in Avengers Age of Ultron instead of Quicksilver? Oh, that's a good question. I'm not too sure. It would be interesting because Scarlet Witch has played a massive part in the MCU. Ultimate Spider-Man needs a movie. Yeah, he does. Let's see where the poll is at. So Josh Keaton is getting majority of the votes. It's actually more whitewashed in Josh Keaton's favor than I thought. But Yuri Lowenthal is obviously amazing. Josh Keaton, though, obviously iconic as Spider-Man. So, who do you think would win in a fight between Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, and Tom Hardy's Venom? That's a very specific selection, but I'm going to go with Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I think he'd find a way. Yuri is great, although people are having beef with him being the only VA for Spider-Man. Says Cosmic Bazooka. Yeah, I'm beef with him. Why? This is tough. I love Yuri and Josh. Yeah, me too. I love them both. You know 3C Films? Yeah, I know 3C. I know 3C. What's 3C done? What did 3C do? What did 3C do? Have you seen the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s? Yes, a very long time ago. I can't remember them very well. But yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, no, what did 3C do? What did 3C do? What's the beef going on? What is the beef? He talks about movies and fiction. Yeah, I've heard of him. I've heard of him. Which is better, DC movies or Marvel movies? Marvel movies. Marvel movies are better, 100%. They've got a better track record anyway. What do you think about Mark Hamill as an MCU Doc Ock? That would be pretty cool. I remember those rumors. That was ages ago, man. Oh my god. Not only did Josh Keaton play Spectacular, but he also voiced Peter in Edge of Time as Ultimate Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions. He did, yes. He also voiced Peter. He also voiced Spider-Man in Earth's Mightiest Heroes before then getting replaced by Drake Bell, who would then obviously be cast as Spider-Man in Ultimate Spider-Man as well. So he was meant to be the voice actor for Spider-Man in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which suggests to me that the original plans was to connect Spectacular Spider-Man to Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But obviously that didn't end up happening. 3C is not involved with the drama. I want to mention him because I was curious if you like him. Oh right, okay. Yeah, I like him. I've watched a few of his videos. I'm not too entirely sure 100% what he's about, but I've seen a few of his videos. I have liked his content before. I think the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show would have been better if they went off the comics. 100%. 100%. Damn right. But either way, that's been pretty much it for this week's Spider Talk. I know there's not been a lot of news in conjunction to what we usually get. But hopefully next week will be better. Hopefully next week we'll have a lot more news to talk about. But yeah, those are the main topics. Mainly Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4, which I'm really excited to talk about as well because I haven't had a chance to talk about Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 in depth for quite a while, and it's kind of been giving me a little bit of an itch, you know what I'm saying? Just curious question, what is your favorite anime shows? I don't watch anime. Sorry, I couldn't. Could you cover Superior Spider-Man? Yes, I do have a Superior Spider-Man video coming up at some point within the next few months. There is plans for one. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. You guys are all awesome as always. Hopefully to see you next Tuesday, because we'll be streaming Tuesday, as you do know. Every single Tuesday, the Spider Talk news show. So we'll be back to Tuesdays instead of Thursdays. I might move it if there isn't any news again. I might move it to Thursday, but I'm pretty sure hopefully there will be. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in a bit. Have a great day.